hello, hello, hello. And welcome to the Heart, Mind, and Voice Show. Hello, ladies. How are
Hello.
you tonight?
Saturday.
Sassy. I am so happy to be on the show tonight. Hello, HMV fam. We're so glad that you're joining in tonight. We have some people that's on time tonight. The minute we said we're up, we're live and in the building. Ping, ping, ping. So we're so happy you have joined us tonight. We are so excited to talk about the topics that we have tonight and really get into some real and raw and live conversations. And if I tell you this has been the week for, I believe, not just me, and like so many ways, this has been the week for so many. Would you ladies agree?
Yeah, it's been
Been
I
a
don't
week.
know what was going on. It's been a week though. Hi, oh beautiful Nikki.
Hi,
Hey, Nikki.
beautiful Nikki. Well, I tell you, it's your girl, Coach Shalonda. We have your girl, Miss Sirius K, with her nice Hawaiian look tonight, honey.
I'm ready for spring, y'all. This Dallas weather, it makes you depressed. It's just,
Exactly.
ooh.
And then we have Miss Fabulous Queen A looking all sassy. Well, I think spring is probably coming in soon, right, Kim? Because we do set our clocks back tonight. Well, I'm sorry,
Tonight.
spring forward.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh
sorry,
no, it's
spring forward, spring forward, spring
Mhm.
forward. Don't flip back. Spring forward.
I think everybody ready for spring. And let me tell you, the winter is going out with a bang though.
Yes,
Yes,
it
indeed.
is. It is going out with a bang. It's going. So I definitely look forward to the spring, and I don't know, y'all. Just be careful with the storms. But anyway, I'm not gonna speak that. But anyway, I'm not gonna speak that. But this is some weird weather. And then I don't even want to think about the summer. I never look forward to the summer. Not here in Texas. Never look forward to the summer. Hot. That's a heat wave. But Queen A,
Mhm.
you're in Atlanta, so hot Atlanta, no
Yeah,
better.
it's really hot. But you know it's crazy because New York, I'm from New York originally, and New York get
Hmm.
really hot summers. And it's
Hmm.
like it's the very humid heat. So
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
interesting, yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, before we get started with our show, we just want to definitely acknowledge some families tonight that have had some significant loss. Our very own talented sister, Miss Tracy Braxton of the Braxton family. We got news that she's gone on to be with the Lord, and so we just want to send out our prayers to that family. That was really just that really I don't know, and I guess because did you guys get involved with their show? Did y'all watch Braxton Family Values a lot? Of
The
course,
first season, but then,
and then
Okay.
show. I kind of watched them. I kind of watched them until they stopped showing it, and then of course, we grew up with Tony Braxton. Hello,
Mhm.
so yeah, as Nikki said, my heart was broke. Yeah,
Yeah.
heart was just I don't know. It just when you feel like you've
Mhm.
grown up with them and just there's a connection there.
Yeah.
So our heart really goes out to that family. And then another individual that passed away. They called him Bookman on Good Times. Johnny Brown, Mr. Johnny Brown. He
Wow.
was, yeah, he lived blessed 88, 84 years, I'm sorry. And he's gone on to be with the Lord
Yeah.
as well. And we all remember Bookman. Bookman could, what was that he used to always do? Was it sing or something he would always do on Good Times that was real fun? I think he would act like,
That was a janitor, right? I mean the
yeah,
He
custodian.
was a, he was a,
the maintenance
yeah,
man. Was it
Yeah, maintenance man. Yeah,
maintenance
yeah.
man. Mhm.
Bookman? Yes, yes, yes. He's gone on as well. He lived a long time, but so I was really like, wow.
I used
So
to watch that show all the time. You know, I mean, I miss those
Oh, good
shows. I was
I
like, really?
know. Well, you can always get TV One shows Good Times all the time. I don't know if they're streaming. I know a
Mhm.
lot of shows are streaming. I don't know if Good Time is. Jefferson,
Yeah. Yeah.
got no
A
What
lot
were
job.
of them
your
are
favorite
streaming on
shows?
Amazon Prime.
Oh,
Oh, that's
okay.
Some of
good.
those
So,
old shows.
What
hmm
were some of your favorite shows from back in the days?
Jefferson for me. Jefferson.
Girl, the what is it, Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, and the Love Boat.
Oh, you know what? I did love
said the love.
Mine was Happy Days. I'm just messing with Shalonda. I'm just joking.
No.
Shalonda always get on me because I like different cultural things, but no.
The Happy Days was good. I love Andy Griffith. I can watch it, girl.
Oh, yeah, I did like, you know what? I did like Andy Griffith.
You know, I didn't really have a favorite. I watched the Jeffersons a lot. 227. There was another one that was my favorite. I can't remember the name of it.
I like Sister. I mean, you know,
I like Sister.
I love. You did? I love Sister.
I like the Facts of Life, and you know,
they were all right.
Yeah.
I like Fresh Prince. All that. I mean, it was a lot of them that were really good. Some of them we can't remember their names. A lot of them were really good, and they, you know, like you said, a lot more streaming. On a lot, like Amazon Prime, I see a lot of them on the little free app, Tubi. I love Tubi, y'all. Download Tubi, a lot of free. You say you have Tubi, Series K.
Yeah,
they have a lot of low budget movies, but a lot of them are.
Yes, Mal's done. Wow. Nikki.
Oh yeah, girl.
She said
Alice.
Yeah. That was my favorite, Three's Company. Yeah,
that's Jason's favorite, Three's Company.
Really? I love that.
I'm trying to remember what was CW. I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, that's the channel.
That's
the station.
I'm like, what was CW?
Yeah, you can watch it.
On the channel CW. You can probably like, Lord have mercy.
They had a lot. You remember they had like Silver Spoons. They had Benson. It was so many that was like
Full House.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Let's come on back over to our side. Half and half, all of us. I mean, come on.
You know what I like? All in the Family.
Oh yeah, All in the Family. That's where the Jeffersons spinned off from. All in the Family. Remember?
Yes.
It was a lot of good, healthy shows back then, and they're still creating some really good comedy shows, and I'm just loving all this streaming. Yes, that's right,
yes.
Nikki. Girl, give us some. Yes, honey, Martin and living single. Just keep on. Put us in the comments. Jesus, God. My people.
You know what? Stop.
My people. You know. I had one black person. But anyway, moving on. Let's get into our topics tonight. We got 2 hot topics. It was so many hot topics series. Oh my God. It's so much that is going on. It is ridiculous. It is
death and drama.
Oh. From the Jussie Smollett sentencing to the Kim Kardashian statement to the Chris Brown accuser, honey. That was a twist of fate right there. A twist of fate. How he was able to produce some receipts, as they call it. Oh, you trying to accuse me of raping? You're gonna sue me for $20 million? Well, let me just show some of these conversations that you and I have had in the past. And did y'all get a chance to hear some of the things that she said on the text messages? You know, but you on the voicemail. I think it was the voicemail.
Yeah.
Listen to now. She wanted to just know her status with.
And you know, and one of the voicemails when I listened to the report, she was asking him, she was begging him for more.
Yeah, she was thirsty, like real.
Yeah, but she wasn't only thirsty for that thing; she was thirsty for the money too.
You know, and all in all, that's what she was thirsty for. She felt like she had a foot in the door, and she was trying to put both feet in and she was trying to get in the building. And so she felt like she could trap him. I really feel like she felt as though she could trap him. You know, she could possibly become pregnant, and you know how that goes.
You know, people make a living doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like these groupies, that's what they do. I mean, even like just groupies. It's women that does that too. Like they sleep around for money. They do what they gotta do. They sleep with stars or rich people for money. And then they try to set them up. I mean, that's just insane.
And you know what? That's why celebrities have to be so careful with how they carry themselves. So that's why it was easy for people to believe that, because he was known as a bad boy, you know, from the incident with Rihanna to Robin Roberts, his attitude and his aggression. So it was easy for people to believe that. So that's why, you know, celebrities, they have to be real careful. So it's a good thing he had those messages, or people believed her.
Yeah.
Nikki said he played her and made her think it was more than what it was. So she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna show you then. And she went and tried to claim rape or whatever, but people are just insane. I feel like
now she's lost her attorney. Her attorney has dropped like, I don't want to be a part of this. And it's like, girl, just move on. Just let it go. But like there were people that were saying that, there should be a law against females or males, but mostly females do it, that try to file a lawsuit of, try to accuse these rich, these celebrities for raping, like, you could have messed up his career. I mean, because like you said, his reputation is already out there kind of rough.
Yeah.
And so that would have just solidified a whole lot more. So they could have really set the story up really, really big. And so that's not cool. That's not good. If he didn't do that, then no, he should not be, no matter what his reputation is, no matter how bad he portrayed to be, he's still a human being. He works hard for his money. He's a very talented, gifted young man, and he deserves, his rights like everybody else, despite of how bad of a boy he is. That's him. That's his life. Yeah. And you were foolish enough to sleep around thinking that you were gonna get a bag, and you got a bag in your face.
Remember a few months ago with Drake, and the girl tried to, take the condom and insert it in. How many people do?
They do that kind of stuff.
We talked about the show a few months back. We talked about stealthing. It was in California. They should create some type of law for stuff like that. Yeah.
They really should. They should, and the punishment should be very harsh, like it would be had he been accused of rape.
Well, just like Jussie, and just like people that lie about being kidnapped, and then the police find out they're not, and then so they get charged because the cops got to do this investigation. They spending money doing that type of stuff.
Yes,
so she should get charged with something.
Yeah, she should. And that's not cool. Because you're right. Everything still goes into effect. Court cases and stuff are set up, and all of it is fabrication. It's a big lie.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, and then we move on to the Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Now this right here, and and I said, with the Ryan Coogler bank fiasco, I said that there's always a bigger picture to every matter, and I'm like, well, there's still, both sides. Although at the end of the day, I felt like Bank of America could have used the little teller, could have used proper procedure. She could have went to her manager before alerting the police. I feel like she should have just taken
her manager.
She did,
and then they just said what?
They called the police. I guess that's when they called the police
because they didn't go through the proper steps. So, so she went to the manager. They could have taken it. When the person, I've never ever heard it any bank robbery case that the robber showed their ID and their ATM card.
Yeah.
Never ever.
And he had to pay in everything.
He had to correct that because when it was first, when people were first talking about it, they said he didn't show it. But he had to come back and correct. Yes, I did show my ID. He had to come back and correct that. And I'm like, now he didn't show his ID. And what thief is gonna say, okay, here's my ID?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there, no weapon, but the face mask, which a lot of us still wear, and shades because the sun was out. And and wrote on the piece of paper. Now I understand writing on the piece of paper, that was a little suspicious, okay. But there could have been further steps taken when the ID was shown and there was no weapons or anything.
When I was listening to the story, and I was hearing the whole taping of it, she said they didn't even look at his name. She just was suspicious because she said, he came in with a mask, the way, and it's like she was trying to ask some questions and he was answering everything with the note. So to her, she said she wasn't even paying attention to the name. But it's like, duh, you see the ID, plus he's putting his ATM in the machine with the PIN number. So why would you even think to look at the name? So it was just, she automatically assumed that something was not right.
And he was at work. He had his little badge on his on the side. He was at work, so he had his, I don't know what he was taping. You know, he's a director, so he probably was on set. But he had his badge where it shows Ryan Coogler, probably showed what studio he was located at and everything. And the cops, like, they had that on the video showing when he was out, you know, talking to the, you know, the cops and everything. And he was like, this will tell you everything about me, who I am. I'm like, did y'all not see that? What thief is gonna come up in the bank?
Well, and then they said, well, have you tried to do it another way, like without writing a note? Well, let me tell you, true story. A close family member was talking to me and my husband about this same thing happened to him. He's a business owner. So he went to the bank to withdraw $10,000. Okay. So he filled out the withdrawal slip, answered all the questions on the slip or whatever, turned it in. So the lady started asking him questions like, what kind of work do you do? What kind of business do you have? You know, and he was like, I'm retired. She's like, retired from what? You know, he was like, I don't have to tell you that. Can I get my money? So she was like, well, yeah, you do have to answer these questions. And he was like, it's my money. Can you just give me my money? So she called security over. And then they called the police. And so he said, you know what? Just give me all my money. Just every last dime. So he said the police came over and they asked him what was going on. He said, listen, I'm just trying to withdraw some money out of my account, but she's asking me questions like, what kind of business do I have? And where did I retire from? And all this kind of stuff. He said, that shouldn't matter. It's my money. But the thing about it is they looked at him like he was a drug dealer. That's what she was trying to figure out. Like, because you know how some of us do, you know, he likes to dress real nice. He's just a business owner. He likes to dress real nice, and he do like to wear like a gold chain, not many, but like a gold chain. He likes that kind of stuff. So that's actually what she was insinuating, because he's a black man. He's flashy. He must be selling drugs, but it's his money.
Exactly. You know, I worked in the financial industry. We had to take classes on, you know, like some things that's, you know, when it's just, you know, what is not right, like something that you got to really pay attention to. And so they did mention something about when someone who's coming to draw large sums of money and it's not typical for them. So they do have to ask certain questions, but they should have something in place where, especially if you're dealing with people like entertainment industry or rich people, whatever, they should have them sign some type of waiver or something where they say, these are the questions that we must ask you when you are withdrawing large sums of money. So, you know, they should have something in place where they do let the person know we have to take these measures to draw out large sums of money when it's over. And I forgot, I think it's over 12 or 15,000, but I can't remember what it was, but we had to take classes on it in terms of, you know, knowing when something is just a red flag, basically.
Yeah, but like Nikki said, that wasn't his first time doing it. Like he said it. He been to a lot of Bank of Americas, and he did that, and it never happened to him.
And you know what they should do? What they should do, instead of going to the teller, they should put somebody drawing out large sums. They should have a banker. Yeah, exactly. And deal with a personal. First of all, large sums of money. A person should have a personal banker that they deal with. You know, and so that would be better. Like, that's true customer service.
Yeah, that's true. He said that it was all worked out. It was taken care of. We don't know what happened with that teller, but we don't know what happened with her, and if he's still with the bank or whatever. But you know, it is kind. I would love to know. You know, really wish they were, because I would love to know how did y'all work that out with him? Because how could they have worked that out with you ladies? Had that happened to you, you know, being in the money, and that happened to you, and you're out, you detained.
You know, women, we handle stuff totally different.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been worked out. Just I'll be like my family member, just give me all my money and let me go. Because you put the cuffs on me and you put me in the back of the car. You know, that's a bit extreme.
That's extreme.
They should have walked him out. They put the cuffs on instead of walking him out and say, let's have a conversation. Or even just going into a room, let's have a conversation. Yeah. Like, I want all my money. I know that's
all my money, all of it. Run me my money though. Run me my money while we Thank you for taking the cuffs off. I need to go back in the bank and get all my money. I would have gotten all my money that day. That day. I want to say y'all might want to
put it in my purse.
Okay.
Yes, for something to happen like that. That was so, and I believe on the video, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it his child? And did he say, I don't know, Nikki, if you saw his video, did he say it was his caretaker for his child or doctor or nurse? Because he was paying
nurse,
somebody.
the child's nurse.
Yeah, wasn't he paying her? He said he paid
cash,
like
yeah.
cash. And he paid her a lump sum. And this is normal. Like this is the normal routine for them. Why she always want cash? Hey, I don't blame Miss Mafia.
Maybe she's probably an immigrant. Who knows?
Yeah, you know.
I'm like, I don't blame Miss Mafia. I'm not even an immigrant. I'm like, yeah, run me my cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was normal. He had done it before. We'll put it in my purse. How you gonna put all that money in your purse?
Just under the table.
Do something. But yeah, I saw that. That was just really sad. He was so upset. You could see the anxiety all over his face. Yeah, I would have been upset too. So yeah, those are just some of the few crazy things that are going on. So, I don't know. I guess our advice would be I would say I would have talked to a banker. I wouldn't have went up to the window or to a teller if I'm, taking that much money. I would have went to a banker.
I hate to bring up the whole black and white issue. Whole racism thing. I hate to bring it up, but it's when you think about all the stuff that we have to, all the effort we have to, to make things happen for ourselves, not just like in that incident, like, what was it? I wonder what would have happened if it was handled differently if it was another race. If it was a black teller or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, when you think about even in the work, corporate, you go to stores, like I was in I went to the beauty supply store earlier, and the damn Asian woman followed me around. I'm like, ma'am, like I just like I'm looking. I asked her a question where something is, and then she's like, every aisle I'm going, and I purposely went in every aisle just to see what she was gonna do, and she came in every aisle, and I'm like, ma'am,
I would never go back.
Like, can I help you?
Right. I hate that.
So if you're gonna watch me, you might as well hold the basket for me and keep walking. Let's go shopping together.
And that's what makes me mad. You set up in our community and you want our dollars, but then you don't like us. You hate us. You follow us all around the store. You know what I mean? They know that the hair industry is a multi-billion-dollar business. We spend lots of money on products, and they do not like us. It takes a lot for them to like us. I'm telling you, you have to like prove your trust for them to like you, because there are some Asian people that like me, but it's because it's like they feel like I proved that they can trust me. Yeah. And that's sad. And I'm not saying it's all Asians. I'm just saying some of the ones that I have encountered that have set up in our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. I already told that lady, I asked her to carry the basket. Let's go shop. And she walked away then.
Okay. Said everyone was black. Was that in the bank? It's worse within our own. Yeah. Yeah,
it is right. Yeah, that is true. It's like even for us, we treat our own people a certain type of way. So it's like we expect other races to treat a certain way, but we need to have respect for our own selves and how we deal with our own selves. So where to go.
That's sad. Really sad. That's the conversation. That's one of the hard conversations that's hard to be had in the Black community. When they have those panel shows, like when on OWN, sometimes you see when all the Black, few young Black millennials get together or older Black people get together, and they don't like talking about that. You have one side upset, and it's all of us. One side is upset because it's like, oh, why are you trying to see Black man trying to down the Black man? No, we're speaking the truth about one another. It's okay for us to tell the truth. We're living it, We're living our life. We're living our story. We're living the experiences that we go through and that we share and tell the world, what we go through. We're living it. And it happens a lot with just us and not with the other side a lot, It's probably equal, but let's move on. It's a lot. That's a hard conversation to be had one day. But let's move on to some some good old heart, mind, and voice conversation. So, ladies, would you be okay if your spouse spent the night with their kids? Kids, this, this question right here. This, would you be okay if your husband or your wife, HMB fam, spent the night for the holidays with their kids so they can wake up the next day and say Merry Christmas or Happy Thanksgiving or Happy New Year, or whatever the holiday was, Happy birthday, I don't know, whatever the holiday was. And that, the kids' mother or father was their ex, but you had to stay home. You couldn't spend the night with them. Only the kid's parent, your spouse. So, but you couldn't, you had to stay home. So the spouse was gonna go spend the night at his ex, but it was his, he's really spending the night with his kid. And not so how would you feel? So let me go ahead and break the ice on this one. Funny. So that is definitely a tough question, I would say, with especially on the female. I'm on the female side here. So I would say if that ex was married, it probably would even be so bad because that ex is married. So the woman is married. If my husband was going to spend the night with his child, I have to stay back. For whatever reason, huh?
Okay, I see. So if you had to stay home,
if I have to stay back, for whatever reason. My husband spent the night at his ex to wake up the next day for the holiday for their child, and that ex was married. Then it's not so much of a bad thing because that ex is married. With me being a female, meaning that, my husband died, is going to the woman, the child's mother's, and she's married to a man. So a man is going to allow another man to overstep their boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it may not even be the case when they're married. Like that husband may be like, no, he can come visit the child the next day, but he ain't staying the night. But some kids, it may be a little different in some household whether it's okay for that child's father to stay. And so, I would say for a lot of people, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for if that person was married because.
Okay, let's be honest, Shalonda.
Let's be honest. If the ex was married,
Well, from your perspective,
if from my perspective. If my husband was going to spend the night at his ex's house to wake up the next day for the holidays with his child, and we didn't have a kid. Now we have a kid. No, that ain't happening. But if we didn't have a kid, then she's married. Now, if she ain't married, yes, of course, that's obvious. That's obvious.
How do you know the spouse is there? How do you know the spouse is there though? They're married, but how do you
know good and well their spouse gonna be there for the holidays. So we will make sure that everything is in place. So we will make sure if that was the case, we will make sure that everything was in place. And I think in that situation, for me, I'm speaking for me. Y'all got a chance to speak for y'all.
I don't think you told the truth.
No, I am telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. I haven't had that situation.
No, we know you. We know you.
But for me, if that ex is married, that's different. Now, if the ex is not married, no, that's common sense. If I'm in, and for me, I know that type of lifestyle, it's not common in our culture. Now we know that.
No, it's not.
It's not common. Now let's be real. Now, if it happens in our culture. Yeah, it can happen in our culture because we dip and dab and everything, picked up all kind of spirits. So yeah, it can happen in our culture.
Kim, you think you tell the truth? What you think, Kim?
Y'all have to speak for yourself because I can say
what? She's saying that, but if it happened in reality, for real, do you think you could do that?
If my husband ex was married, if she was married, yeah.
Okay, but then you gotta remember now. You're gonna be at home. You're gonna be at home by yourself, waking up for the holidays.
Right, I'm gonna be at home by myself, waking up for the holidays, or I can have something else planned. If that is the case, if that's the case, or I have something else planned. So I mean, for whatever I don't know what the reason what the reason was.
Because he want to wake up with his kids for Christmas and say, hey, Merry Christmas. He want to be there when they wake up.
Okay, so you know what? Let me take it a step further for me. Now knowing what I know. Now back then I was stupid. But now knowing what I know, I would choose not to be with someone with children. And I chose that before, but I let my guards down. So knowing what I know on the record, now y'all know this is true, I would choose someone without children. Now that would be me. So because situations like this could come up, and I don't want to be a part of something like that. So now that would be my truth. If I had the opportunity again, now, life has happened and everything is totally different. So, you do get perspective now because now I'm on that side. So you get totally different perspectives. But had I been, just me and I married this guy and he has a kid, no, he has a kid, I'm not marrying him. Now what I know, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have done it.
He had to have grown kids.
I would have never been in that type of situation.
But let me tell you, I would have been like, hell no, it's not going to happen. But let me tell you, that has happened to me. We were married. My ex-boyfriend, we were living together. And the time we lived in New York, and his son's mother lived in New Jersey. And it's about 2 hours away. And, she had other kids, so she wanted all the kids to be together. And he knew he was going to spend the holiday with me. So he was like, he wanted to wake up. He wanted to wake up or whatever, and he made a big issue. I told him, no, like, we can get a hotel and we go in the morning, and wake up before the child wake up. We do that, but no. But anyway, he did go. It was a big issue. We broke up for a little while, and yeah, we got kind of worked it out, got back together, but then we broke up again, and that was the end of it. But yeah, because it's like if you have to. I mean, I just don't think that's cool. I mean, sometimes, again, that doesn't happen in our culture, but so much. But, it is where they, like certain couples, they have, or maybe exes, they do have a certain type of friendship. Now, I do agree that they have, some of them have that type of understanding, but it's not going to happen with me, though. I'll tell you that.
I tell you, married or not married, no, it's not. Because today, people are into some freaky stuff. Number one. Okay. Number two, so she gets to wake up next to her husband for Christmas, but then I'm laying in the bed looking over here. I'm by myself.
Right.
How does that work? She got both of y'all.
Yes, right.
And her husband. And I'm sitting over here by myself and all y'all over there. So you don't care enough about me to stay here with me for the holidays, and we get up. We can split the time. Mm-hmm. You go get the kids. You have them from that morning till about 3 o'clock, and she get them from 3 to whatever, or vice versa. You have to compromise, especially when you're married, because of course, the wife is supposed to be first, but you're doing certain situations. When the kids come first. Come on now. When the kids come first. But what I'm saying is you have an obligation to your wife. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure that that your wife is happy and that your house is okay before you start making all these decisions. If your wife don't agree with it, then, hey, we need to come to a compromise. What we need to do. Now, if she a cool baby mama, maybe she can come over there. She can come over here too or whatever. I ain't saying tonight because I don't know about no creeping. But if she want to come over here and, we all downstairs and eating dinner and all that, that's cool. But ain't no spending on nights. Because you know what? She ain't going to let me spend the night.
You know what?
I was also with my baby daddy and the kids, because my kid is over there.
Yeah.
I don't care if he is married. My husband ain't going for that.
Yes, that's the thing. Men would not go for that. They would not do it, but men
definitely wouldn't. But they expect you to accept that.
Yes.
Men definitely wouldn't go for it if it was you going over to your ex's house to spend the night with, y'all's child, if he was single.
They're not.
Going over. But, I've been in situations which have really, allowed me to see on the other side why if I had that opportunity, that, when I did have that opportunity to see the other side, and I had never had that opportunity because I didn't deal with guys with children. Just when I'm like, because I would have friends, I could see all the drama and stuff that would go on. And, I didn't want to put up, I'm like, So I never did, and then one day I did let my guards down and go there. And so having the experience that I always knew that could possibly happen from seeing it, most of the time in our culture in particular, and just seeing how, one of the baby mamas was always invited for the holidays, to the family gatherings, to stay for the holidays along with us, the baby mama. Yes. Yeah. So real life, real true story. I've been in the situation where the baby mama, may not invited by me, but invited by the matriarch of the family to come and say the holidays with the family. And I'm like, wow. Never been in situations like this. So, everything is being new, me knowing that, you got to bend and you got to allow certain things. I wouldn't ever. I've been in the situation, and, we have a child, and I'm like, wouldn't ever promote. I was just saying that earlier. Whenever promote people that don't have kids, or kids are grown and gone, you free now, you've done your due diligence, live your life, be happy. You find someone, make sure their kids are grown and gone, or they don't have any, so y'all can enjoy your life, have fun. Don't get with somebody stuck with still with kids, because there's a lot that comes with that. And you may feel like you shouldn't feel like, for one thing, you should be adult enough to feel like that's not my responsibility. When you take on her journey or his journey, their journey becomes your journey.
Right.
Journey. So those kids become a part of your life. So you take care of those kids. You have a responsibility, whether we want to admit it, accept it or not, to take care of those kids as if they were our own children. That is our duly responsibility. But this generation, our culture in particular, we don't want that. No, you see few far in between that where you will see stepchildren that will acknowledge their stepmother or stepfather as, they were beautiful. I have 3 moms, I have 3 dads, or whatever the case, 4 moms, it gets real crazy. I have 4 moms, I have 4, dang. Woo. So it's a lot, and it's a lot of dynamics with that. And so it takes mature people. Things happen, life happens, have kids, that's just part of life. And you go on and you do build families elsewhere, but it takes mature people to really know how to handle it in a mature way to where no one's scarred in the end.
Yeah. Right. And I want to say, what, and with kids, like if they're using an excuse, like, to the situation where I want to wake up with the kids for the holidays, if they're saying the kids are saying this, Dad, I want you here so you can wake up. You have to learn to communicate with your kids on their level and explain to them how relationships go.
Yeah. Very
Mommy is with this person. I am with this person now. We are married. Daddy cannot do that. You have to sit down and talk to them. A lot of parents now are trying not to be the bad person and trying to be friends with their kids and to shelter them and protect them and cover up stuff and letting the kids lead them and tell them what to do and run and orchestrate everything. And that's not the way it's supposed to go. My parents, my mother, my grandmother, they sat down and they talked to us like real, on the real. They didn't hide stuff. They didn't sugarcoat it. It's like, listen, baby, you can't do it. We can't do it. This is the way that it is. Right. And we have to do that. We have to go back to being parents and parenting these kids and telling them the truth and being honest and real and speak to them on their level. There are ways you can speak to a 5-year-old and talk to them about divorce. Changes, relationship dynamics. So you have to learn those ways and explain it to your child so they can understand.
And where they can understand it. That's a key thing, Serious K. I mean, you spoke volumes there, because kids can play pun, they can play on that. They see and they can, especially if they want it a certain way or whatever. So we have to have those conversations, and they can be kid-like conversation. Like, I don't know, where my son, we were at the gas station getting gas, and my son said, "Ooh, gas is so high, huh, Mom, because Russia and Ukraine and war." What you know about that? My teacher told me at school, she told us about the war. She's talking to us about, like, how could she explain that to she break that down? But you're right, and there's ways that we can break the conversation down to where they can understand it, you know. And
especially nowadays, these kids are advanced.
Right.
Like, you know, things we think that they don't know. Oh, they know. I remember I was telling Coach Alana the other day, I said, she was saying something. I was like, don't say that. He's listening. She was like, girl, no, he's playing the game. I said, no, I know how they, like my son used to do the same thing. Like, he's like, you think he's in a room playing another game, but they listening. But it's like they, you know, so, and they taking it all in, and they analyzing it, and then next thing you know, they mentioning something that you said. You're like, wait, how'd you know that?
That's right.
So kids, they are. That's why I said, I'm serious, Kate, you're right. You got to.
Their minds are like, their brains are like sponges. They soak up everything and they keep it and they remember it.
But I just do that in the past where I try to appease my son because, you know, I felt guilty not being in a relationship, you know, not being married to his father no more. I'm not even gonna tell the story, but anyway, I remember being called out. My mother actually called me out, and she was like, you know, speak your truth. She was like, you know, he knows what you're doing. You know, I try to cover up stuff and try to hide things, and he already knew. And he never said nothing to me, but he already knew. And it's like I try to hide relationships and all of that, and he was like, I knew that already. So you know, so we do have to be honest with our children in terms of like the life, you know, the life that we, you know, live in. So.
Right. That's true. Good conversation there. Let's move on to something else that's hot and pressing. And this is, I would say this part. I mean, I think the men have problems with it too, but I would definitely say the women in particular, especially the women. So how many of us out here, HMV fam and ladies, co-hosts, how many of us feel emotionally free? We're just free, honey, to embrace our natural body. Now, this is our perky or saggy boo-boobs, our thunk-a-thongs or flat-a-thongs, bottoms, our little roly-poly or our basketball stomach. You know, how many of us out there are just so free and we're just like, honey, I am just going to flaunt it because this is me and all of me, and I'm happy. And I love the skin that I'm in and all of it. How many of us? Well, I'm the first to say, I ain't there yet. Next.
I've got a comment our producer made.
What did our producer say?
He said, that's me. They get it all this body.
She's emotional, baby. She said, come get it. Baby, our producer she is one beautiful lady to me. I say that all the time.
She's very beautiful, yes.
She's a beautiful, beautiful lady to me.
Honey, if I had her body, I'd be free too, honey.
So are you ladies? Tell me, co-hosts. Are y'all happy? Y'all free? Are y'all free to embrace your natural body as of to date? What is this? What's this? March 12th, 2022. I'll give you 3 more months. Give you 3 more months.
That part.
You got a whole year.
you know, there's a lot of parts of me that I like, that I embrace. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's natural for a woman to feel insecure about parts of her body. And especially, you know, after childbirth and after age sets in and things start shifting and moving and dropping and rolling. So it's natural to feel insecure and not be so free because we know what we used to look like and what we want to look like. And so it's hard to embrace the new, you know, when you know what the original look like. You know what I'm saying? Like when you was 20 and had it all right and tight. So then we get older, things start changing and shifting. Even with diet and exercise, you know, you still some things just change. Yeah, you can tone up and you can perk up and you can live, but there's still, you look on the side, you're like, wait a minute now. Even when you sit down, if you have a flat stomach, sometimes you'll see a little, you know, we still have a little bit of something, like I say, especially after childbirth. So, you know, sometimes I don't feel so secure with certain parts of my body because I miss the original, but I'm trying to, you know, just accept this body and just try to focus on being healthy, try to focus on the inside. Like, okay, let me just focus on the inside, being healthy so I don't get sick, so I don't get heart disease and diabetes because all that stuff runs in my family. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and I already know why. Mine, every time I get like 20 pounds over my the weight that they say I'm supposed to be, my blood pressure goes up. And like when I'm in school, my blood pressure goes up. It's mostly related to stress, but I know how to get it down. Like once I exercise and take the steps I need to diet and all this kind of stuff, a combination of the both, and I get the weight down, then he'll take me off of blood pressure pills. I mean, I went through this before with my doctor. This is the thing we go through all the time. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to learn to accept what I have now, because that can also bring on unwanted stress, because you're stressing about what I look like, what I should be looking like. Just kind of embrace who you are now. Your body, what it looks like now, and just focus on taking care of your body, because God gave you that body and that one body, and you should take care of it.
Yes. Queen A,
well, let me tell you, God knew. He knew, because if I was blessed with a banging body, he already knew. So, everybody know I like to walk around naked. So he like, look, I'm telling you, like I was in Barbados and they had a new beach. Guess who was in it? But I didn't fully get undressed. I just wanted to experience it or whatever. It's just, it's fun to just kind of be, free in that sense, right? But I definitely have a lot of insecurities when it comes to my body. And as I get older, I was a type, they have so many women that had babies and their stomach went right back, no stretch marks, no nothing. I wasn't that person. So that's one of my insecurities, is definitely, my stomach. And it's funny because like when I meet men or whatever, and it's like they want to touch you and someone like hug you or touch your waist and stuff, like no, like but it's like it's not nothing towards them, but it's just an insecurity. And then it's like when you get older, your chest flops, so when you engage in that with the man is all flopping in their face, all of that. All of that is like, you feel kind of embarrassed about it. And so I definitely have insecurities, and I work towards those things. I work on those things, but some things I just can't change. Like, like the stretch marks, whatever, I just can't change that. And so I understand why you want to be with someone like, my ex-husband, where he helped create it, right? Because I got pregnant by him. So you get with a new man and you just being okay with him being, if he's okay with it. So again, and I'm the type, like if I'm involved with somebody, a new man or whatever, we marry, whatever. I want the lights to be off because of the insecurities. Now, definitely I'm working on that and going to the gym and working on my body. But I try to embrace my natural beauty. But it's funny because the things that we most don't like about ourselves is what other people may like. So like I get a lot of, I hated my eyes, but I get a lot of comment on my eyes. And so, so we do have things that other people may love. I remember when one of my exes, and he used to say like, he loved all of me, even when I had gained the weight, like he loved it all. And so, I just hope that whoever I get with, he can. And love it all, and because I'm learning to embrace me, so I definitely want him to embrace me. But that's not only women, men too. I have known men to be ashamed of how they look. They could have gained weight or have skin blemishes or whatever they may have had. An issue someplace else. So. And so men definitely have insecurities. It's definitely
that's a problem. That's a problem.
But I would feel much more comfortable if like I didn't have the stretch marks, or I had whatever, so, but it is what it is, and I'm learning to, that's just a part of life, that's just a part of the process of having a child. Also, I'm getting older, this is a part of life, and it's something that I am embracing, like, okay, you know what, it is a part of life. Regardless, you're still beautiful. And like Kim said, I work more on the internal, so it helps me get rid of the insecurities and so forth.
Right.
Yeah. And what's so crazy, y'all? Me and my husband been married 8 years, and I still don't like him touching my stomach. Like he do it only because he do it jokingly because I don't like it. And
Yes,
say, I don't like that. And he'll say, listen, this is my stomach. And then that's the only way I'll let him do it. Because when he say this mine, I'm like, he right. So then
but that's it. And that's what I love when a man can embrace, embrace it and let you know I'm okay with it. I still love you regardless. I love that. So that's good. I like when a man makes you feel comfortable in that sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even when your man have insecurities, let him know, like, honey, I love it all. Like, listen.
I like them chicken legs and all. But yeah. So it's important that we embrace, our natural body, our dents, flaws, and all, because and you know what? I mean, if you don't like yourself, change yourself, because even at your whatever age, you still can change, into the bodies. We see these nice looking 50, 60-year-old women. Come on now, y'all. All the time. So it is doable. Move everything if we want to, and get fine as wine, and it's possible. And if that's what you desire. Now, if you're cool and you're good, then share that confidence with other ladies. Pass that energy on. Queen A, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I was watching Tamron Hall show the other day, and Kate. They had a few women on there. It was Kay Michelle. She talked about the experience of, I think she got her silicone butt implants taken out. But she talked about embracing your natural beauty, and she mentioned that she went through all these changes and changing her body, but it wasn't necessarily worth it in her experience because all the health challenges that she had to endure. And so, she had a lot of health challenges that she had to endure, and because of it, she had to take out the silicone. She chose to take it out, and she chose to just be in her natural self. So so now for me, I look at, I'm really working on like going to the gym a lot. Really like, where I would love to get an operation and be like, like flawless, hour shape and all of that. But I ain't there today. Not today. But I am working on it and I'm getting there. And so I'm definitely learning to embrace my natural beauties with my flaws, imperfections, all of that. So going to the gyms definitely give me an emotional boost as well as a physical boost, and keep on improving my health, and not just my health, but my looks overall. So.
And what would y'all say to the women that are with, their spouses, and the spouses say, I love you for who you are? Because a lot of times, and I say this all the time, a lot of times women want to look better for themselves. It's not so much always about the men, but it's just to make me feel good. I want to feel good. It has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with how I feel. So what would be your advice to women like that? And their husbands are saying, oh, I love you just how you are. I'm good with your little boobs or your saggy boobs. Or, you tubby or little, whatever however the tubby is. And, the thunk. I love, you don't have one or you have one. What would you say? Because it's like, I guess it's like a conversation to be had, because it's like you have to understand, the men have to understand it's not so much as for you is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Just like Queen A, I guess I'll use you because you always talk about your thunk and how it's an unk. And so or blank. And so if you're a man, tell you, well, honey, I love all of you. I love how it looks. You don't have to go through all that. I guess the conversation would be, I want to do this for myself.
Right, exactly.
When you want to, this is about me. I just want to do this for myself. And sometimes you have to have those conversations with your spouse, be it man or woman. Yeah. This is for me. It's not that, I feel bad for just because, I feel like you don't like it or you want something better. But it's just for me. I just feel like you, Kim, and you talk about your little wubby. It's just for me. I just want to feel better when I look at it in the mirror and see and want to see it. Yeah. I feel good for myself. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
you love everything about me.
And especially when you you're married and everything, you with your spouse or whoever, and it's like, you want to be sexy, not just for them, but you want to be comfortable with you. Like, especially, you want to put on lingerie and you got fat, all over the, like coming out of the thongs or whatever you have on, it's like he may like it, but for you want to feel definitely sexy and and look sexy in lingerie. So
Yeah.
So you do the most. They're not just doing it for. They're not just doing it for the man, but they're doing it for themselves. I had a conversation the other day, and I was talking about with the man, and I was talking about really improving the way I look and everything. And he was like, well, why are you doing all of that? Like, thinking that I was doing it for a man. It's like, I'm not doing it for a man. I'm doing it for me. Of course, it makes me more sexy to men, but it's not, that's not my whole goal and intention. My intention is for me to feel comfortable, secure, and in who I am. So
I had a conversation with my doctor, and we were talking about this, and that's what he said. He said the thing about it is, when you think about changing something on your body, you make sure you're doing it for you, because if you're doing it for somebody else, and then something happens to where you're no longer with that person, or you do it and you don't like it because you did it because they asked you to, you're not going to be happy. So make sure whatever you do, you doing it for yourself and to make yourself happy. So I would say do what makes you happy, because in the end, it's about your overall happiness and what you feel comfortable being, like looking like or whatever. So that's important, because if you don't, you'll be sad, you'll be stressed out, you'll always be unhappy, you'll always be complaining. So I don't know if he want to hear you complaining or you go ahead and do what you want to do. Right. I think he would rather you go ahead and do what you want to do and be happy, because what they say, happy wife, happy life. So
true statement, people. Happy wife, happy life. So many men can testify to that. True statement. So y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe on our YouTube page, like and share on our Facebook page, and like on our Instagram we have. And be sure to tune in to us on our weekly podcast. We have a show that upload every single week. So be sure to check us out on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. And y'all, let's get into this last topic here. And this topic is a very interesting one. And this is still dealing with couples, y'all. Now, this is a very interesting thing here, because this is my first time, 47 years, first time ever hearing about this, and how I am an advocate when it comes to marriage. Oh my God, I've never heard of pre-engagement counseling. Have you ever heard, HMB fam, of pre-engagement counseling? Of course, premarital. I understand there is a difference.
They should have pre-dating counseling.
Okay, really, Queen
A. Just dating. I don't know.
Listen, we need a dating 101 manual, y'all.
So I got this information from our Judge Faith Jenkins, the judge that's over the divorce court now. It used to be Judge Lynn Toller. Now it's Judge Faith Jenkins, very own home.
Well, she's not on there now.
Young lady from Shreveport, Louisiana. Yes, she is. This Judge Faith Jenkins. She was talking about, she was on an interview, and she was talking about, before her, she's married to the famous Kenny Lattimore that can sing his hiney off. And they were talking about when, they got serious in their little dating at the time when they were dating. And when they felt like, I think it's that time to take it to the next level. Well, before she wanted to take it to that next level, she wanted to do pre-engagement counseling before they even put it out there that, hey, we're getting married. Mm-hmm. She felt like when so many people put it out there that we're engaged, and when they go do that premarital counseling, if they do, or if they start seeing things that, I don't think this really gonna work out, they still end up going all the way anyway, because they've gone this far, and, with getting preparations together as far as the wedding and telling people and just blending their lives gradually together. Before all of that, she's like, before all of that, they wanted to know if that's even the right step to take. So when I heard that, I said, you mean what? There is pre-engagement counseling? How amazing, effective, innovative, how amazing that can be for so many marriages, couples that not really, won't get married, because you go into questions before you even say, will you marry me? Before you even put a ring on it, because you might find out some of those expectations, some of that information that, about this person that you just don't like. Now, we can find this out, of course, in the dating stage. Some things we don't like about the other person or that next person. But, there's so many other things that we don't even think about until we start gradually blending stuff in together, and we start seeing habits and behavior that I ain't really liking that. Oh, it'll get better when we get married. Oh, it'll change when we get married. And it only illuminates, it highlights, it really magnifies once you get married.
Right.
That part that you don't like about that individual. Isn't that something? Is always that part you don't like about that individual. So that was amazing to me. The pre-engagement counseling. So, ladies, tell me, what do you think about this pre-engagement counseling?
I think it would be something beneficial especially for young couples or somebody that just don't know like the right questions to ask during dating, because let me tell you, when I got to my wit's end and I'm like, I'm tired of jokers, I was asking all kind of questions. Stuff like, like, have you ever been to jail? Have you ever been with another man? Asking about your parents. I'm asking and this is the kind of stuff when I research, this is the kind of stuff that they ask and they're talking about in pre-engagement counseling. So that's why I say, if it's like a young couple or somebody just don't know what to ask, or maybe you're shy, maybe you don't feel comfortable because you're just in the dating phase and I don't really know if I should ask this question, or I don't know the right questions to ask, so I need a mediator or a counselor to help me, ask the right questions, stuff like that. So I think that it's good, especially for young couples or even older couples, because sometimes we quick to jump into stuff. I met you Friday, we get married Sunday. So I'm all for any type of counseling, especially when it comes to marriage, because marriage is a serious thing and you should take it serious. Don't take it lightly.
That's right, Queen A.
I definitely feel that I think it's good. Like I said, dating 101, me dating and meeting people, I'm like, God. And so it's questions that you should even ask if you're looking to date someone or get involved in a relationship with someone. And it's like, if you don't know what questions to ask, you just sit up there and waste time. Like I've talked to men for months and feel like wasted time because maybe I didn't ask the right questions, or maybe whatever. But I think it's important to have that, especially nowadays in the way marriages are failing. It's good to, you can still go through it and you can fail anyway. But you kind of know it's like when you know your standards, you kind of can eliminate some things when you know your standard. You don't just jump into anything. And also when you know who you are as a person and what you want, you like, hey, let's go through counseling, because you want to make sure it's right, especially if you've been burnt. Like, you've been betrayed, you've been burnt. She had failed relationships. You get tired of failed relationships. It's like, even like with me, like I get tired of like the dating phase of, the fail, like it didn't go nowhere. Just when you think it's going somewhere, it didn't go nowhere. It's kind of frustrating, but learning to ask the right questions, the proper questions when you get to know someone, when you're dating, when you're getting ready to, get engaged. And besides, like if the man going to propose to her, he don't want to have to buy the ring and then have to return it or he lose money. So that's another reason why you want to do pre-engagement counseling. But I didn't even know it was such a thing until I researched the topic. And I'm like, they actually have a lot of like firms out there or counselors who does pre-engagement counseling. So I think it's powerful. But somebody need to create the dating 101 manual, because it is for real.
Yeah. And I think a powerful question in a pre-engagement counseling should be, tell me some of the promises that you made to yourself when it comes to your idea significant other. How did you foresee that person? Him or her, both. That's a powerful, because you may have made promises to yourself. You may have written down a list, because think this is real information. This is real life situations where we've seen where people have said, I said I didn't want this. And then God sent this person that had everything I said I didn't want. And then where are they today? So it's like, I think it's good to, for that. That's a powerful question to be either in the pre-engagement. I would say the pre-engagement, to really cause that person to think. Because when you stir up that awareness, it'll cause you to go home to your separate homes. And, if separate homes, I hope, and really think about, I did say this. I did say I didn't want this. I did. And then what were some of the things you said that you would not accept in an individual? What are some of the things you didn't want in an individual?
So when I was
questions to ask, because those are questions that we put in the back of our mind where, I've made promises to myself, in way back in the beginning, even more so now. And if I see myself walking in those steps, wait, hey, remember, you said this, you said that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it seems like whenever you speak to yourself, it's the most powerful thing, making promises and vows to yourself versus anybody else, but to yourself. Because you can't lie to you. You can't turn your back on you. You can forget about it if you turn your back on you. Your life won't go right. But when you make those promises and vows and speak to yourself and say, this is what I deserve. This is what I desire from the Lord. These are the things I desire in a spouse. These are the things I desire in a female or in the opposite for the opposite, So those are good questions to bring up because it really stirs up that mind in the pre-engagement. Because you look at that individual, and if that individual is everything that you put on the list, or that you said, now she did say there was one thing. She said there were some things that Kenny didn't make. She said she wanted a 6'2". He ain't 6'2", but she was like, that's okay because he's still at
80%. You learn to bend on something, but you do have your main standards. Right. One thing I was going to mention too, like some people have standards, right? But I think sometimes it's we get caught up in the temptation of love, but also temptation, lust. But where we may think is love, and it's not necessarily love, but then it's like that's where you go back into your maturity level in terms of how are you loving you. So it's like if you get with someone and it's like they don't check 80% of the boxes are unchecked. They don't meet your qualifications and your standards, but you choose to still get involved because some people think that they can change a person or they can settle and deal with it because you've been waiting for some period of time, or you just been, so I understand the part where some people just want to jump into it because they've been waiting and they love a person, or maybe just lust, like the sex is real good. So I just want to jump into it. So those are questions to really ask yourself. But really quick, when I was engaged to be married, and we were a month into, before the wedding. We were supposed to get married in June. I think in May is when we called up the wedding. And, I wouldn't say it wasn't necessarily a pre-session, but we had to go talk to someone because we went to the same church. We were having some challenges. And one of the challenges was we could not agree on the way we were going to live or where we were going to live. Like, how the hell we get married? We can't agree on where we're going to live, how we're going to live. Wow. And so as we got closer to the wedding date, more issues started to come out, and it got to the point where we found a place, but then he didn't want to share certain things about his life, like his social and all. I'm like, we're getting ready to get married. And at that point, and I remember crying in a session, and I remember crying to my friend. I said, how do you get married to someone you love the person, but you don't know if you will remain in love because of these issues? And I remember asking those questions. I had a lot of questions. And it's like, if you have so many questions in your mind about a person, that's an indication that this may not be right. And so I had a lot. And then sometimes the questions could be, are you just afraid? It could be, were you just afraid? So you're asking a lot of questions because you're afraid, you're trying to make sense of it. So you got to really decipher, what questions are you asking and how you're answering those questions. But long story short, I said to him, listen, let's call up this wedding because this is not going to work. And he was upset, but finally he agreed about it, and we chose to go, we did date for some time and try to work it out after, but we chose to go our separate ways because we could not even agree on that, on that term. So we knew we were not ready for a deeper commitment, a deeper relationship. So ask important questions and know your standards, but, again, kind of, make sure you're answering those questions the right way.
That's right. Well, ladies, this has been a great show as always. Come back, people. Come back to us next week. Be sure, you guys, to like, share, and subscribe again on our YouTube. Check out our podcast, Heart, Mind, and Voice Show, on Spotify, Apple. We're burning up on Apple, so definitely check us out on Apple, y'all. If you don't check us out anywhere else, and leave a review wherever you check us out. Leave a review. And let us know about the show. Let us know your thoughts and what you think. And send us an email too. Do we highlight our email on the podcast? heartmindvoiceshow@gmail.com. Send us an email if you got some topic ideas. If you want to talk about a certain thing, you got questions about whatever we discuss. Let us know, and we will discuss it live. Let us know, honey. We will bring you on live. So definitely let us know your thoughts and everything. And ladies, did you ladies have anything to add to tonight?
I think we said it all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Take care. Have a nice, lovely, and safe week. And we will see you next week. Good night.